Hey friends, welcome back to your favorite place to learn and grow in English. Right here, right now. Today's topic is advanced English phrases for daily life conversation. Now, I know a lot of us are already using basic phrases like, how are you? Or, nice to meet you. But if you want to speak English like a pro, if you want to sound more natural, fluent, and confident, then you must learn and use advanced expressions in your daily life. And don't worry, I'm not going to just throw fancy phrases at you. I'll explain each phrase clearly and give you real-life examples, like how you'd use it with friends, at work, or even just at a coffee shop. So grab a notebook, get comfy, and let's dive in together. Ready? Let's go. Phrase 1. Hit the nail on the head. Meaning, to describe exactly what is causing a situation or problem. Explanation. This phrase is used when someone is 100% accurate in what they say. It's like saying, yes, you said exactly what I was thinking. Real life example. Imagine you're in a team meeting and everyone's talking about why a project failed. Then your friend Sarah says, honestly, I think we didn't plan enough. We just jumped in too quickly. And then you respond, Sarah, you really hit the nail on the head. That's exactly the problem. How to use it in daily life. You hit the nail on the head when you said, I need to manage my time better. She hit the nail on the head during the interview. That's why she got the job. Phrase 2. A blessing in disguise. Meaning something that seems bad at first but turns out to be good. Explanation. It looks like a problem or failure in the beginning, but later you realize it actually helped you. Real life example. Let's say you lose your job. You're very upset. But later, you find a better job with a higher salary. You can then say, losing that job was actually a blessing in disguise. How to use it in daily life. Missing the flight was a blessing in disguise. I avoided that storm. That breakup? It was painful, but it was a blessing in disguise. I grew so much after that. Phrase 3. Let the cat out of the bag. Meaning, to accidentally reveal a secret. Explanation. It means you said something you were not supposed to say, often by mistake. Real life example. Your friend is planning a surprise party for her boyfriend. But at lunch, you say, are you excited for the party tonight? And she gasps and says, you just let the cat out of the bag. How to use it in daily life. Oops, I let the cat out of the bag about her promotion. Don't let the cat out of the bag. It's supposed to be a surprise. Phrase 4. Bite the bullet. Meaning, to do something difficult or unpleasant that you've been avoiding. Explanation. When you don't want to do something, but finally decide to face it. Like going to the dentist. Real life example. You've been avoiding cleaning your room for weeks. But finally, one Saturday you say, okay, I'll bite the bullet and clean everything today. How to use it in daily life. I hate giving speeches, but I had to bite the bullet and present in front of the class. Sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and tell the truth. Phrase 5. Throw someone under the bus. Meaning, to blame someone or betray them to protect yourself. Explanation. This is a negative phrase. It means you make someone else take the blame just to save yourself. Real life example. In an office setting, your manager asks, who forgot to send the email? And your colleague says, oh, I think she forgot to do it. Then you feel like, wow, she really threw me under the bus. How to use it in daily life. He threw me under the bus just to impress the boss. Friends don't throw each other under the bus. Phrase 6. Break the ice. Meaning, to start a conversation in a social setting, especially when it feels awkward. Explanation. When you meet someone new and things feel a bit tense or quiet, you break the ice by saying something friendly. Real life example. You go to a new class and no one is talking. You smile and say, "Hi, I'm Emily. This class looks interesting, right?" That's breaking the ice. How to use it in daily life. A joke is a great way to break the ice at parties. I always ask where someone is from to break the ice. Phrase 7. Get something off your chest. Meaning, to share something that has been bothering you. Explanation. You've been feeling worried, angry, or guilty about something, and you finally talk about it. Real life example. Imagine you argued with your best friend last week. You've been feeling bad. Finally, you call her and say, "Hey, I really need to get something off my chest. I'm sorry for what I said." How to use it in daily life. I just needed to get it off my chest. I feel so much better now. Thanks for listening. I really had to get that off my chest. Phrase 8. In the heat of the moment. Meaning, doing or saying something without thinking because you're emotional. Explanation. When emotions take over, anger, excitement, stress, you do or say something you later regret. Real life example. You had a fight with your sister and shouted at her. Later, you feel guilty and say, "I didn't mean to say that. It happened in the heat of the moment." How to use it in daily life. Sorry, I was rude. It was the heat of the moment. I made that decision in the heat of the moment. Now I'm rethinking it. Phrase 9. The ball is in your court. Meaning, it's your decision now. The next move is up to you. Explanation. Used when you've done your part, and now the other person has to decide or act. Real life example. You apologize to a friend after a fight. You say, "I've said sorry." Now the ball is in your court. That means it's their turn to respond. How to use it in daily life. I made the offer. Now the ball is in his court. I've done everything I can. The ball's in your court now. Phrase 10. Cut to the chase. Meaning, skip the details and get to the main point. Explanation. It's used when someone is talking too much and you just want the important part. Real life example. In a business meeting, someone is giving a long introduction. The manager might say, "Can we cut to the chase?" What's the final decision? How to use it in daily life. All right, cut to the chase. Did he say yes or no? Enough background. Let's cut to the chase and make a plan. Phrase 11. Play it by ear. Meaning, to improvise or decide your actions as a situation unfolds, rather than planning in advance. Explanation. You don't have a fixed plan. You'll adapt based on how things go. Real life example. You plan to meet friends for dinner, but aren't sure about timing. You text, "Let's play it by ear. If traffic's bad, we'll push it back." How to use it. I haven't got a schedule for tomorrow. I'll just play it by ear. We'll see how the weather is and play it by ear for our hike. Phrase 12. On the same page. Meaning, to agree or have the same understanding about something. Explanation. Everyone involved shares the same information and expectations. Real life example. Before a group presentation, you ask teammates, "Are we all on the same page about our roles?" How to use it. Let's have a quick meeting so we're on the same page. I just want to make sure we're on the same page before moving forward. Phrase 13. Through thick and thin. Meaning, to remain loyal or supportive in both good and bad times. Explanation. Describe steadfast commitment regardless of circumstances. Real life example. Talking about your best friend. She's been with me through thick and thin. How to use it. I know he'll support me through thick and thin. Our team stuck together through thick and thin. Phrase 14. Throw caution to the wind. Meaning, to act without worrying about risks or consequences. Explanation. You decide to disregard caution and do something daring. Real life example. When you decide on a spontaneous road trip, you say, let's throw caution to the wind and just go. How to use it? I'm throwing caution to the wind and asking her out. Sometimes you've got to throw caution to the wind to live fully. Phrase 15. Burn the midnight oil. Meaning, to stay up late working or studying. Explanation refers to working so late that you'd be burning oil in old-fashioned lamps. Real-life example, you have an exam, so you tell your roommate, I'll be burning the midnight oil tonight. How to use it? I have a tight deadline, so I'll be burning the midnight oil. She burned the midnight oil to finish that report. Phrase 16. Up in the air. Meaning, uncertain or undecided. Explanation. Plans or outcomes haven't been settled yet. Real-life example. Your vacation dates aren't fixed. Our summer trip is still up in the air. How to use it? The schedule is up in the air until we hear back. Their future plans are up in the air after graduation. Phrase 17. Hit the ground running. Meaning, to start something and proceed very energetically and effectively from the beginning. Explanation. You're immediately productive without needing a warm-up. Real-life example. On your first day at a new job, you tell your boss, I'm ready to hit the ground running. How to use it? We need someone who can hit the ground running. She hit the ground running in her new role. Phrase 18. Bark up the wrong tree. Meaning, to pursue a mistaken or misguided course of action. Explanation. You're looking in the wrong place or blaming the wrong person. Real-life example. You accuse your brother of eating your snack, but it was your roommate. You say, sorry, I was barking up the wrong tree. How to use it? If you think I'm to blame, you're barking up the wrong tree. He realized he'd been barking up the wrong tree about the leak. Phrase 19. Cost an arm and a leg. Meaning, to be very expensive. Explanation. Implies a price so high, it feels like you've given something precious. Real-life example. After seeing your phone bill, you exclaim, wow, that international call cost an arm and a leg. How to use it? That designer bag costs an arm and a leg. Our vacation didn't cost an arm and a leg, surprisingly. Phrase 20. Caught between a rock and a hard place. Meaning, faced with two equally difficult or undesirable choices. Explanation. You can't choose a good option. Both are tough. Real-life example. You have to work late or miss your child's recital. I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. How to use it? Choosing between rent and groceries. Caught between a rock and a hard place. She felt caught between a rock and a hard place at the meeting. Phrase 21. Go the extra mile. Meaning, to make an additional effort beyond what is expected. Explanation. When you don't just do the bare minimum, but do more to achieve a goal or help someone. Real-life example. Your coworker delivers your project ahead of schedule and also creates a summary report. You say, wow, you really went the extra mile on this. Thank you. How to use it? If you want a promotion, go the extra mile on every task. Our team went the extra mile to make sure the event was perfect. Phrase 22. Silver lining. Meaning, a hopeful or positive aspect in a bad situation. Explanation. Even in negative events, you look for a good outcome or opportunity. Real-life example. You got caught in the rain and ruined your plans, but you ran into an old friend at the cafe. You tell them, I missed my train, but the silver lining was meeting you here. How to use it? Losing my job stung, but the silver lining was more time with family. Every challenge has a silver lining if you look for it. Phrase 23. Take it with a grain of salt. Meaning, to view something skeptically or not take it too literally. Explanation. When you hear news or advice but recognize it might be exaggerated or unreliable. Real-life example. You read an online rumor about a celebrity. You tell your friend, I heard that, but I'll take it with a grain of salt until it's confirmed. How to use it. He's known for tall tales, so take his stories with a grain of salt. Reviews are helpful, but take them with a grain of salt. Phrase 24. On the back burner. Meaning, to postpone something or give it low priority. Explanation. You temporarily delay or deprioritize a task in favor of more urgent matters. Real-life example. You have 2 projects, but only time for one today. You say, let's finish the report now, and put the presentation on the back burner. How to use it. I'll keep your request on the back burner until next week. Marketing is on the back burner until the site is live. Phrase 25. Skating on thin ice. Meaning, to be in a risky or dangerous situation. Explanation. You're doing something that could easily get you into trouble. Real-life example. You've been late to work several times. Your boss warns, you're skating on thin ice. One more late arrival and there'll be consequences. How to use it. By lying, you're skating on thin ice with your parents. He knew he was skating on thin ice by ignoring the safety rules. Phrase 26. Pull someone's leg. Meaning, to tease or joke with someone in a playful way. Explanation. You aren't serious. You're just having fun at someone's expense, but harmlessly. Real-life example. You tell your sister you saw her favorite actor at the mall. When she gets excited, you laugh and say, I'm just pulling your leg. How to use it. Are you serious or are you just pulling my leg? Relax, I was only pulling your leg about quitting. Phrase 27. Face the music. Meaning, to accept the unpleasant consequences of your actions. Explanation. When you've done something wrong or risky, and now you must deal with the fallout. Real-life example. You missed a deadline, and now your manager is upset. You take a deep breath and say, I messed up. I'll go face the music in the meeting. How to use it. No more excuses. It's time to face the music. He knew he'd broken the rules, so he headed to the principal's office to face the music. Phrase 28. Let sleeping dogs lie. Meaning, to avoid stirring up trouble by leaving a situation as it is. Explanation. If you revisit past issues, you might create new problems, so it's better to leave them alone. Real-life example. Your friends had a fight last month, but have since moved on. You think about bringing it up, then decide, I'll let sleeping dogs lie. How to use it. I almost mentioned the old argument, but decided to let sleeping dogs lie. Sometimes it's wiser to let sleeping dogs lie. Phrase 29. Under the weather. Meaning, feeling slightly ill or not at your best. Explanation. You're not severely sick, just a bit off. Maybe a cold or general fatigue. Real-life example. You call in to work. I'm feeling a bit under the weather today. Can I work from home? How to use it. She's under the weather, so she stayed in bed. I'll skip the gym. I'm a little under the weather. Phrase 30. Hit the books. Meaning, to study hard and with serious focus. Explanation. When exams or deadlines loom, you dedicate time to intense studying. Real-life example. The night before finals, you text, no social media tonight. I've got to hit the books. How to use it. I'll see you later. I need to hit the books. If you want good grades, you must hit the books consistently. Phrase 31. The ball is in your court. Meaning, it's your decision or responsibility now. Explanation. This phrase comes from tennis. When the ball is in your court, you're the one who must take action next. Real-life example. Your manager gives you 2 project options and says, now the ball is in your court. Choose the one you prefer. How to use it. I've said what I need to. The ball is in your court now. She apologized, so the ball's in his court to forgive her or not. Phrase 32. By the book. Meaning, to follow rules strictly or exactly. Explanation. If you do something by the book, you're doing it according to all the rules or instructions without skipping steps. Real life example. A coworker insists on doing everything perfectly. He handles every task by the book. No shortcuts. How to use it. Some situations don't need to be handled by the book. Our accountant always does things by the book. Phrase 33. Bite off more than you can chew. Meaning, to take on a task that is too big or difficult to manage. Explanation. It's like putting too much food in your mouth. Hard to handle. It means you committed to more than you can realistically complete. Real life example. You volunteer for 4 projects and realize you're overwhelmed. You tell a friend, I think I bit off more than I can chew. How to use it. Be careful not to bite off more than you can chew at work. He bit off more than he could chew with that event planning. Phrase 34. A blessing in disguise. Meaning, something that seems bad at first, but turns out to be good. Explanation. It looks like a negative situation, but later you realize it had a hidden benefit. Real-life example. You didn't get the job you wanted, but then a better one came along. Not getting that job was a blessing in disguise. How to use it. Her breakup turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Losing my keys led me to meet someone wonderful. Total blessing in disguise. Phrase 35. Beat around the bush. Meaning, to avoid saying something directly. Explanation. When you don't get to the point because it's uncomfortable or sensitive. Real-life example. You want to ask your boss for a raise, but talk about everything else. Your boss says, stop beating around the bush and say what's on your mind. How to use it. Don't beat around the bush. Just be honest. She was beating around the bush about quitting. Phrase 36. Jump the gun. Meaning, to do something too early, before the right time. Explanation. This phrase comes from racing. If a runner starts before the gun, they've jumped the gun. In life, it means acting prematurely. Real-life example. You start a group project without waiting for the teacher's full instructions. A friend says, don't jump the gun. We might miss important details. How to use it. Let's not jump the gun before the official announcement. He jumped the gun and bought tickets before confirming the date. Phrase 37. In hot water. Meaning, in trouble or in a difficult situation. Explanation. If you're in hot water, you're facing consequences for something wrong or risky. Real-life example. You forgot your partner's birthday. You say, I'm really in hot water right now. How to use it. He's in hot water with his boss for missing the deadline. They were in hot water for breaking the rules. Phrase 38. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Meaning, to accomplish 2 things at once with 1 action. Explanation. It's a very efficient way to handle 2 goals in one go. Real-life example. You go to a cafe to study and meet a friend at the same time. Nice! I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. How to use it. Doing laundry while listening to an audiobook. I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. She traveled for work and visited family. 2 birds, 1 stone. Phrase 39. Put yourself in someone's shoes. Meaning, To imagine what it's like to be in someone else's situation. Explanation. It's about empathy, thinking from another person's perspective. Real life example. Your friend is upset after a breakup. You tell others, put yourself in her shoes. She's going through a tough time. Put yourself in her shoes. She's going through a tough time. How to use it. Before judging, try to put yourself in their shoes. I always put myself in the customer's shoes when solving problems. Phrase 40. Take the high road. Meaning, to behave in a moral, kind, or respectful way, even when others don't. Explanation. Instead of fighting back or acting badly, you choose maturity and dignity. Real life example. Someone spreads rumors about you, but you stay quiet and respectful. I'm taking the high road. I won't respond with anger. How to use it. Even though she insulted me, I took the high road. In arguments, try to take the high road instead of making it worse. Phrase 41. Throw someone under the bus. Meaning, to blame or sacrifice someone to protect yourself. Explanation. When you shift blame or let someone else take the fall for a mistake, often to save your own reputation. Real life example. Your team missed a deadline. In the meeting, your coworker says, "It was Alex's fault," even though it wasn't. Wow, I can't believe he threw me under the bus like that. How to use it. Don't throw your teammates under the bus. It's not fair. She threw me under the bus just to look good in front of the boss. Phrase 42. Burning the midnight oil. Meaning, working late into the night. Explanation. This idiom comes from the old days when people used oil lamps to work at night. It means you're staying up late to complete something important. Real life example. You're working on a school project at 2 a.m. Your friend texts, "Still up?" Wow, you're really burning the midnight oil. How to use it. We've been burning the midnight oil to finish this app launch. She burned the midnight oil studying for her exam. Phrase 43. Break the ice. Meaning, to start a conversation in a friendly or relaxed way. Explanation. This is often used in social or business settings when things feel a bit awkward or silent. Real life example. At your new job, you crack a joke to lighten the mood. I told a funny story to break the ice during the meeting. How to use it. Icebreaker games help break the ice at events. She told a funny story to break the ice with her in-laws. Phrase 44. In the long run. Meaning, over a long period of time, considering the future result. Explanation. This phrase is about thinking long-term. Something may not be fun or easy now, but it will benefit you later. Real-life example. Eating healthy may be tough today, but it'll be worth it in the long run. How to use it. Studying now will help you succeed in the long run. He invested in real estate thinking about gains in the long run. Phrase 45. Cut to the chase. Meaning, get to the main point quickly. Explanation. It means stop wasting time with small talk and focus on the important issue. Real-life example. In a meeting, someone is giving too much background, and you say, "Can we cut to the chase? What's the actual problem?" How to use it. I'll cut to the chase. We need to change our strategy. Cut to the chase. What are you trying to say? Phrase 46. Hit the nail on the head. Meaning, To describe exactly what is causing a situation or problem. Explanation. It means being exactly right or accurate with your comment or opinion. Real-life example. In a team discussion, you say the real reason for delays. Your manager says, "You hit the nail on the head. That's the core issue." How to use it. She hit the nail on the head with her analysis. Your answer hit the nail on the head. It was perfect. Phrase 47. Keep your chin up. Meaning, stay strong, confident, or optimistic during tough times. Explanation. This is an encouraging phrase used when someone is feeling down or facing a challenge. Real-life example. Your friend fails an interview and feels upset. You say, "Don't worry, keep your chin up. Something better is coming." How to use it. Even when things go wrong, keep your chin up. It's tough, but I'm trying to keep my chin up. Phrase 48. Out of the blue. Meaning, suddenly and unexpectedly. Explanation. When something happens without warning or any hint beforehand. Real-life example. You get a message from a school friend after 10 years. You say, "She texted me out of the blue." How to use it. He quit his job out of the blue. The storm came out of the blue. Phrase 49. Get cold feet. Meaning, to suddenly feel nervous or uncertain before a big decision. Explanation. You were ready to do something, like get married or speak publicly, but now you're scared or unsure. Real-life example. Before going on stage, you feel anxious. You whisper, "I think I'm getting cold feet." How to use it. She got cold feet and canceled the wedding. I always get cold feet before job interviews. Phrase 50. Think outside the box. Meaning, to think creatively or in a new, different way. Explanation. It means breaking away from usual or traditional ideas to find innovative solutions. Real-life example. Your team is stuck on a problem. The boss says, "Let's think outside the box and come up with something unique." How to use it. Startups succeed because they think outside the box. He thought outside the box and came up with a brilliant marketing idea. Phrase 51. Bend over backwards. Meaning, to try very hard to help or please someone, often more than necessary. Explanation. You're doing everything you can to make someone happy, even when it's difficult. Example. I bent over backwards to make her birthday special, but she didn't even say thank you. How to use it. He's always bending over backwards for his boss. I bent over backwards to fix their problem. Phrase 52. Read between the lines. Meaning, to understand the hidden or unspoken meaning of something. Explanation. It's not what they say, it's what they really mean. Example. She said she was fine, but reading between the lines, I knew something was wrong. How to use it. If you read between the lines, he's asking for help. You have to read between the lines in business emails. Phrase 53. Sit on the fence. Meaning, to avoid making a decision or taking sides. Explanation. You're in the middle, not supporting any side. Example. She's sitting on the fence about who to vote for in the election. How to use it. You can't sit on the fence forever. Pick a side. He always sits on the fence when there's conflict. Phrase 54. Cost an arm and a leg. Meaning, very expensive. Explanation. Not literally your arm or leg. It just means the price is very high. Example: that designer handbag cost her an arm and a leg. How to use it. This phone cost me an arm and a leg. Living in that city costs an arm and a leg. Phrase 55. Let the cat out of the bag. Meaning, to reveal a secret accidentally or too early. Explanation: once the cat is out, you can't put it back in. Example: he let the cat out of the bag about the surprise party. How to use it. Who let the cat out of the bag? Don't let the cat out of the bag yet. Phrase 56. Under the weather. Meaning, feeling a little sick or unwell. Explanation: you're not seriously ill, just feeling low. Example: I'm staying home today. I'm feeling under the weather. How to use it. She was under the weather last week. If you're under the weather, get some rest. Phrase 57. Back to square one. Meaning, to start over after a failed attempt. Explanation: you tried something, it didn't work. Now you're back to where you started. Example: we lost the files, so we're back to square one. How to use it. After the rejection, he was back to square one. If this plan fails, we go back to square one. Phrase 58. Give someone the benefit of the doubt. Meaning, to believe someone even if you're not sure they're being honest. Explanation: you're choosing to trust them even without full proof. Example: I don't think he meant to hurt you. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. How to use it. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt this time. Let's not assume the worst. Give him the benefit of the doubt. Phrase 59. Up in the air. Meaning, uncertain or undecided. Explanation: the situation is not settled yet, still floating like something in the air. Example: our travel plans are still up in the air because of the weather. How to use it. Everything's up in the air right now. Is the job offer confirmed or still up in the air? Phrase 60. Bite the bullet. Meaning, to face something difficult or unpleasant with courage. Explanation: it means you stop avoiding and deal with it. Example: I hate going to the dentist, but I had to bite the bullet. How to use it. He finally bit the bullet and asked her out. Just bite the bullet and tell your parents. Phrase 61. Hit the books. Meaning, to study hard. Explanation: not literally hitting books, just serious studying. Example: final exams are next week. It's time to hit the books. How to use it. She's been hitting the books all weekend. No parties tonight. I need to hit the books. Phrase 62. Pull someone's leg. Meaning, to joke or tease someone in a friendly way. Explanation: you're not lying, just playing around. Example: relax, I'm just pulling your leg. How to use it. Are you serious or pulling my leg? He loves pulling people's legs with fake stories. Phrase 63. Throw in the towel. Meaning, to give up or quit. Explanation: this comes from boxing. When a boxer gives up, they throw in the towel. Example: after failing the third time, she threw in the towel. How to use it. Don't throw in the towel yet. Keep trying. He almost threw in the towel, but then things improved. Phrase 64. Face the music. Meaning, accept the consequences of your actions. Explanation: it means stop running. Deal with the result of what you did. Example: he lied and now he has to face the music. How to use it? You broke the rule. Time to face the music. She's ready to face the music. Phrase 65. Jump on the bandwagon. Meaning, to join something popular or trending. Explanation: you didn't support it at first, but now that it's popular, you do. Example: everyone's investing in crypto. He just jumped on the bandwagon. How to use it? She jumped on the fitness bandwagon after seeing results. Don't just jump on the bandwagon. Know why you're doing it. Phrase 66. Miss the boat. Meaning, to miss an opportunity. Explanation: the boat left, and you weren't on it. Example: he waited too long to apply and missed the boat. How to use it? You better decide fast or you'll miss the boat. I missed the boat on that stock. It's too expensive now. Phrase 67. In a nutshell. Meaning, in short, to summarize. Explanation: you give a short, clear version of something long or complicated. Example: in a nutshell, we're broke and need to save money. How to use it? Let me explain it in a nutshell. In a nutshell, the meeting was a disaster. Phrase 68. Break the bank. Meaning, to cost a lot of money or more than you can afford. Explanation: if something breaks your bank, it's too expensive. Example: this dress is beautiful, but it breaks the bank. How to use it? I want to travel but not break the bank. Eating out every night will break the bank. Phrase 69. Go the extra mile. Meaning, to do more than expected. Explanation: you don't stop at the minimum, you go beyond. Example: she really went the extra mile to make us feel welcome. How to use it? Our team always goes the extra mile for customers. He went the extra mile to prepare for his interview. Phrase 70. Spill the beans. Meaning, to reveal a secret. Explanation: like spilling a bowl of beans. Once it's out, it's out. Example: she spilled the beans about the surprise party. How to use it? Don't spill the beans just yet. He accidentally spilled the beans about the gift.